Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the White Belt MMA podcast. And it's an absolute pleasure to have on the show again Sasha Palatnikov, who's set to face Impa Kasanganay on April 10th. And it's going to be on ABC. So it's going to be the second show for the UFC to be on the ABC. So, Sasha, how you been, my man?
Been good, man. Been good. Getting ready. Excited to make my debut on ABC, and yeah, looking forward to April 10th. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. And like for you being just a sports fan in general, like how is it knowing that you're gonna be on ABC, especially for MMA, a sport that's come so long from like, not being able to be shown on pay-per-view to like now being on local television on ABC. So for you, do you have like any memories as a kid watching ABC? And then for you, how does it feel, knowing that you're gonna be fighting on ABC and you have a lot more eyes on you?
No, that's always a huge bonus fighting on such a huge network with ABC. And the funny thing is, I never really grew up watching it because I was overseas, but I know how big it is, and going to college in the States, watching lots of sports and different shows, and it's cool. We're on ESPN, but we're also on on ABC, so lots of eyes, lots of opportunities, and I think it's going to be a really good exposure for me, and hopefully get a lot more eyes and views on the 10th.
Definitely, man. And like you're coming off of a fight in a night performance of your last fight. Like we talked about last time you were on, how crazy fight it was. So like for you, how was it for you? Because it took a couple of months for you to get into the fight. So for you, like when did the UFC contact you about facing Impa? And from there, like how's training camp been?
No, it was good. Since my last fight, I went and visited my fiance in France. I was out in Europe, and I was able to kind of recharge a little bit, get away, and came back on the 5th of January and started to get back into training. And I believe the call came for Impa, I think, end of February. I think it was about 5 or 6 weeks out. So it was perfect. I was already started training. My conditioning, everything was already in way better situation than it was for the debut. Taking it on 2 weeks notice with COVID obviously wasn't ideal, but we had to just make do with what I had. And again, I wasn't supposed to, I guess, win that fight. So, when those opportunities come, you got to take them. But now, I've had a lot more time to just settle in and, just improve on the little things that I needed to improve on. And then when that phone call came, and, there was a period of time where I was like, kind of like, when am I going to fight? It took some time, but thankfully it came through. And, it's nice to welcome someone to the division coming down, sorry, from 185. Yeah, it's a good fight, good opportunity, and like you said, being on ABC is a cool opportunity. So I'm excited.
Yeah. And then you started to do like those, I wouldn't say weekly vlogs, but you've decided to start doing vlogs for your training camp. So what was the thought process behind that? Was it just one of those things that you're like, it'll be a cool thing to like for fans to know, like in the daily grind of a fighter. So was that what was in your mind when you started that up, or?
Well, it's always cool to have content and to give the fans and just whoever is interested to kind of see the day to day. But my best friend and my striking coach Matthew Polino is here, so he's got sick editing skills, and he's been a big part of helping vlog our trainings, our journey, and the stuff that we do day in and day out. And I have a really close friend, Ryan DeDios. He's a fantastic photographer, and combination of them and just us being able to kind of go on our journey and do our thing is a great way to, like you said, get more exposure and just kind of give more light to what we got going on day in and day out. And yeah, I mean, it's great because people are interested and they want to kind of get a look at what I'm doing. So not only do I have really good people in my group that can help me in that, it's impossible to kind of do it on my own. So these guys are really important in giving me not only that kind of content, but just they're my homies, so it's nothing better than just to be hanging out with your friends and doing fun stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and it's a funny crew. I'm not gonna lie. I think my favorite episode was definitely the last one when you guys went to the mountains and then your striking coach is just like, man, I'm a striking coach. I'm not supposed to be Bear Grylls out here. So that was really funny. So I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah, for you, like for the mount, like going to the mountains thing, was that just always one I think you have always done in your training regimen, or was it one of those things that you kind of wanted to switch it up a little bit, away from the daily like hit the mid sparring type of routine of a fighter?
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you remember my last fight, I had COVID, and I was
Yeah.
really unsure whether or not I was gonna be able to make the fight. And, my strength and conditioning coach, he knows this area so well. He knows everything around the area of Vegas. And, we were in Utah, and there's mountains all over this place. And that's kind of the deceptive thing in Vegas. There's a lot of altitude. There's a lot of places you can go up and train and just open up your lungs and just kind of get that extra push that, wouldn't necessarily get it like, ground level or sea level. So Lorenzo Pavlica with Primetime Performance, he's like my guy when it comes to that stuff. The gentleman that was with us, he's a beast. He makes me work hard, and the guy keeps up with me and sometimes even pushes me and beats me. The guy's in his 50s, so he's an absolute monster. And his whole thing is, getting up in the mountains, changing scenery, just getting out of the gym, just kind of doing something a little bit different, even if it's just once a week. It's always nice. It just changes things up. And going to a place like Mount Zion, which I've never been before, was amazing. And it was just a beautiful place. And I would always recommend, if you ever wanted to visit one of the most beautiful national parks in the country, it's honestly an hour and a half from Vegas. So it's very, very easy to go out and do that.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I mean, especially I've been to Vegas probably like twice, and it's only been on the Strip. So like now with like the whole COVID restrictions and everything like that, might as well give it another visit and like start visiting something that's not the Strip. So that's definitely a start. One thing I'll definitely look forward to doing. Speaking of which, though, like as the Strip opened up a little bit, because like I know several states are starting to open up like restrictions. So for Vegas, how's everything over there?
Yeah, from what I understand, like Nevada is doing pretty well. Cases don't seem to be going up crazy, and the restrictions are starting to come down. I think they're operating at 50% capacity, and I definitely see a big influx of people on the highway. People are driving. There's a lot of people in town now that's happened. So, it definitely seems like things are improving here in Nevada, and I hope a lot of other states will follow suit too.
Yeah, definitely. And it's crazy to think. So like after this fight with Impa, like I think, after this, your next fight might be in front of a sold out arena. So how does, I mean, not to look forward and not to look past your Impa fight on April 10th, but like just knowing that you're going to get that opportunity to fight in fans, like how's that feel?
Oh no, it's awesome. I mean, I have a lot of people, a lot of fans, overseas who have been asking me tons of questions about, oh, when can we buy tickets to come watch? I got a lot of people that want to fly out and, be a part of the event, be a part of the fight. So obviously when that opportunity comes there, it'll be cool to have people that I know, in the crowd and cheering me on, which is always a plus, and, I haven't fought in front of a crowd since 2019. So it kind of feels like an old thing, but I'm excited. I've always been a big, what's the word I'm looking for? I've just always been, I guess, rejuvenized or energized by the crowd. It always puts me on another level. It's a little bit weird, different fighting in silence, or not really silence, but fighting in front of maybe 30 people or 20 people versus thousands. So this is all the stuff that dreams are made of as a kid, fighting in front of fans and, doing something spectacular that everyone sees and reacts to. And, it's going to be a different environment. I'm sure the whole atmosphere will be different, but I'm excited. It's something new to look forward to. It's just another cool thing to experience once everything hopefully opens back up.
Yeah, definitely. And I can only imagine, just imagine like your last fight with Lewis, how that would have, sounded like when in front of a bunch of fans. So, definitely having the fans back, it's definitely, it's something that everyone's obviously looking forward to. And yeah. So, my man, so like I said, you've been training for this camp and everything like that. And you've been also going to the UFC PI. And I saw in like one of your photos, you ran into Ben Askren. So, how was that? Like, did you guys, get to work with each other a little bit? Talk about his fight that's coming up legitimately the week right after with Jake Paul. So, how was that?
Sure. Oh, it was cool, man. I mean, that was the first time I'd run into Ben Askren, but we have a mutual, I guess, coach. So my coach, Matthew Polino, I met him in Hong Kong, where I'm from, and he's a Florida kid, but he's been in Asia. He was in Asia for 10 years. And then Coach O, which is Ben Askren's boxing coach, who has been his coach for some time. He actually worked in Hong Kong at a couple gyms there, and Matt knows him well, and I know of him, and I've seen some guys that are training with him. So there was like a little Hong Kong connection there at the PI, and I was talking to Ben a little bit, and we were actually practicing at the same time. Just he was in the ring, I was in the cage, hitting pads, and we were working. But afterwards we had a nice talk, and just general conversation. Just he'd spent a lot of time in Singapore, won championships, so he had that Asian connection too.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. Just he's a very cool guy, and very friendly, educated, and it was cool just to talk about the prospect and the opportunity that he has fighting Jake Paul, which I think a lot of people are writing Ben off, which is crazy to me. And to be honest with you, I did see some footage of him hitting, and everybody knows Ben is just one of the biggest trolls, and
Yeah.
that footage cannot be taken seriously because I've seen him hitting, and he's gonna do a lot better than I think a lot of people are expecting. And my prediction is Ben Askren is gonna finish Jake Paul. I don't think I think Jake Paul is just, I don't want to get too far into it, but I think he is what he is. He's not anywhere as accomplished as someone as Ben Askren. I don't care if you say he's not a boxer or he's a wrestler, but he's a world champion. And you don't get that by talking to people on YouTube and talking shit. You have to put in the work. You have to put in years and years of grind and sacrifice. And I feel like Askren's going to be able to bring something that Jake will have never experienced in his whole entire life. Maybe when his big brother used to beat on him, who knows? But I just feel like Ben Askren is going to bully him and just wear him down. Jake will come out explosive. Don't get me wrong; he's an athlete. He can definitely land a big shot. But I'm pretty certain that Askren's going to get the job done, and then everyone's gonna think otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, bully him in the ring, and then Askren also bullied him at that press conference. I don't know if you saw any of the highlights, but like, especially that big brother line that he did to Jake. I was like, yikes, because he got no response back from Jake. So
yeah, because it's true. And again, these guys are fighting non-fighters. He fought a YouTuber, and then he fought an ex-NBA dunk contest winner. Like, come on now, like. It's a you don't play fighting. That's the difference. You can play on YouTube, you can play freaking basketball, but you can't play fighting. Yeah. And I think that's going to show. The goal is obviously to bring as much views, bring as many people to the table, and I respect that. Jake Paul has got a pocket load of millions of people that for some reason like the kid and follow him. So if he's bringing that and putting money in Ben's pocket, that's great. I hope there's more crossover fights with YouTube people. I will happily jump on that myself. Because it'll be the easiest payday of my life and the easiest fight too. So, line them up. If it's successful, let's keep it going. If that's what people want to see, then I would love to jump in the ring. Boxing was one of my first loves. Hands are something that I'm very confident in. If Jake Paul wants to scrap, I'll go. Like these are things that I would happily accept. I'm always down to fight, and if there's a lucrative check at the end of it, then why not?
Yeah, definitely. And, like you said, boxing being your first love, do you have any favorite fighters that come to mind, like when you think of that sport?
Oh, I mean, of course. Mike Tyson was someone, obviously, as a kid, I was just like, what a monster, what a machine. But, as I started to get older, I started to respect, Inoue is one of my favorite fighters. He's a lightweight fighter from Japan, super light. But, man, the guy's got power in his hands. He puts people to sleep. Manny Pacquiao is another one that I grew up watching, Asian fighter. But, I respect Floyd Mayweather, what he's done. I love Canelo now, Lomachenko, Usyk. I mean, I was fortunate enough to train under Usyk and Lomachenko's Olympic boxing coach in Ukraine. So I've had a very, very good introduction into boxing, and I've been able to learn from a lot of very high-level coaches. And I love the game. I love boxing, and I always will be a fan of it. And hopefully, it was funny. I had a dream as a kid that I wanted to compete at the Olympics in boxing, representing Hong Kong, but due to politics and stuff like that, I wasn't able to do it. I was the light heavyweight boxing champ in Hong Kong, and I just couldn't get the push that I needed. It was mainly because I wasn't Chinese blood, so that was unfortunate. And then there was a period of time where I also wanted to look into pro boxing, and when COVID hit, I was really contemplating after I had my knee surgery whether I had met someone here in Las Vegas who had the potential to get me into some pro boxing fights, and I was weighing up the options, and a call came to go fight in Abu Dhabi for UA Warriors, and I ended up going that route, and then here we are in the UFC. So that never really came to fruition, but I did definitely want to at that time try to get some pro boxing fights just to get under my cap, just get some more experience. And didn't work out, but who knows? Maybe there'll be another day for that to happen.
Definitely, man, definitely. And to my man, so to bring it back to the Impa fight, April 10th is also another big date for the UFC. It's the, you know, before, like, last fight you had the Reebok shorts. Now you're gonna have the Venom shorts. So like, have you
Correct.
gotten the sneak peek how they're gonna look like, or you have to wait
No,
the week of?
not yet. I mean, I've heard I've heard people say it's nice. I've heard people say it's really cool, but I haven't seen anything on paper or in picture yet. But yeah, first will be the first fight of the night, so we're going to be the first fighters in the UFC to be rocking it. So that's also pretty historic. Again, I'm the biggest underdog on the card, so that's another piece of history right there. Something that I guess I'm getting that enjoyment of being the underdog. It's always something cool, and yeah, I mean it's everything is kind of matching up. The only one thing that I really hope is I know Panini Prisms are releasing a trading card,
Oh,
a trading
really?
card set for the UFC. So I really hope that I'm in that set. It's like a dream of mine to be on a trading card. But that would be like the cherry on the cake right there. But everything that's kind of lining up is perfect, man. Like I said, just the debut and the way that it went, and then this fight here I think is a really good opportunity, like you said, on ABC, debuting with Venom, a lot of views, so it's perfect. And I'm excited, man. I'm just really excited to get it done.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy though. I didn't know about the Panini, in the UFC working together. So,
Mhm.
for you though, like, moment you see that first trading card that says Sasha Palatnikov, how's that gonna feel? Like you said, it's a dream come true, but like I'm
Oh yeah.
guessing as a kid for you, like you probably collected a bunch of sports cards growing up,
Mhm.
right?
Still do.
Yeah.
I'm big into sport collectibles, something that I enjoy doing, and yeah, like I said, if I can get my own card one day, and that would be so cool. Just show my kids, my grandkids, I have my own trading cards, so it would
Yeah.
be definitely a dream come true. And maybe they'll come and ask for me to get something signed, and there's just that whole process of I've collected. I was a kid following the NBA. I would send like basic cards to NBA players all over the states from Hong Kong with a return address. A lot of them would respond and they would sign it and send it back. And I just thought that whole process was so cool as a 8-year old kid, So now as a grown adult, I still kind of fanboy a little bit with that prospect of being on a trading card. I've had fans message me, sending me pictures, and I've sent a couple of my own old gloves. And I'm always giving love to my fans that reach out, and if I can give a little piece of memorabilia that they want to keep, maybe it'll be worth some serious money one day. Who knows? So it's always cool to be in that world, and it's appreciative just to have people that want your signature when in reality, it's not too much.
But that's awesome though, man. First trading card, then I mean we have to get you in the UFC game too, man. Because I don't know if you're a
Oh,
big gamer, but
I
yeah,
am.
that'd be pretty cool.
I have UFC 4. I think, yeah, I mean, a couple more good fights. I think I can make a case, the first Hong Kong fighter in UFC. So why not put me on that roster? Um, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I know it's not easy to get on that game. It seems like DC has to give you the
Yeah.
green light, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I'll see DC and maybe have a chat with them. But I got to put in my work first. I want to make sure that I'm worthy, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of which, I think DC is commentating on your card because I think on his show, yeah, he was just like, yeah, like he was talking about him like wearing like the ABC blazer and like how he's gonna buy his own jacket. So, hey, my man, I think you have your chance at calling him out, be like, hey, put me in the game. So I mean, worked for Kevin Holland, so it
Yeah,
would work for
but
you too.
Kevin Holland has a big body of work, so
Yeah,
he deserves to be in the game. Like I said, I want to earn it. I don't want to start asking for stuff I don't
yeah,
deserve. So if I go out there and do what I think I'm going to do, then we might have a case. But just got to get the result, and then maybe we'll go from there.
definitely. And then, but do you have UFC 4 for PS4 or Xbox?
Yeah, for PS4.
Well, I mean, who knows, man? Maybe I can give you the work on on UFC.
Hey,
So
send me your tag. I'll,
yeah,
I'll add you on PlayStation. We can
yeah,
go.
definitely, man. I'll send you through the DMs. But yeah, man. So last question, brother. For the Impa fight, I'm guessing it's like the same question that like every interview ends with. But how do you see that fight with Impa ending?
Impa, the first fight I think Impa has is making 170.
Yeah,
That's also, I mean, I don't care, whatever I come in, I'm going to be on weight. But if he comes in a couple pounds over, that's fine too. But I hope he comes in healthy, ready to go. I'm expecting a powerful guy that's going to come out after a very, very big loss in, last year with, that spinning back kick. So he's going to come out strong, wanting to do well. And I just think I'm going to have too much for him in terms of my footwork, my movement, my technique. I think I just have a lot more there. And, the way I see things going, the way things are going in sparring, I come out the shoot pretty quick. So he's got good conditioning, he's got decisions. But if I'm going to predict it, I predicted it earlier in another interview. I'm going to say a late second round TKO.
Definitely, man. That's awesome, brother. So before we go though, you want to, plug in your social media again. So,
For
yeah,
sure.
so yeah.
If you want to follow me on social media, Instagram is Sasha Palatnikov MMA. I know it's a long one, but there's not many people with that name. Twitter, Palatnikov MMA, and same with on Facebook. You trust me, you just look my name up and it'll pop up. Black Belt Dabber on PlayStation Network. If you guys want the smoke on PlayStation, you're always welcome to add some friend requests. But yeah, slide in the DM, say what's up. Give me all the love you guys want to give, and questions and anything like that. I'm always down to talk to my fans, so don't feel shy. And if not, I'll see you guys April 10 on ABC, and I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Sounds awesome, man. So Sasha, once again, thank you for the time, and
pleasure.
to everyone watching, peace.